second video, still a little camera shy. Today I'm going to be doing Heartbeast from Kataklysm. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it. He's just got like his face and then another like creature either coming out of him or a part of him coming out from like, I don't know, here. So I'm excited. I was not planning on doing this. It was, again, very last minute. So I didn't plan for this. I just kind of wung it as I went. I actually was prepping for another mascot, but it took too long for the latex to dry, so I was kind of in panic mode, but I definitely wanted to get something in tonight. Yeah, without my chatty rants, let's just get to it.
So we are still in quarantine, guys, so we are just using whatever resources we have available, and again, I still have no bald caps, so I'm just going to tie my hair back, and we are going to just use another plastic bag. So just place this on your head, and bunch up all the excess, and just tie that in with your hair. Get it in the right position. Make sure all your hair is tucked in, and then we are just going to rip these little tabs off. Once you have that in place, we are just going to seal that up with some latex all around the edges. In this video, I'm just going to give you a little forewarning. I did end up cutting a lot of just footage that I didn't need. So it does jump around a little bit. It's not your computer, it's my filming. So I just ripped one hole out for my ear, and we're just going over that with some latex, but we're gonna be using kind of the bag on the other side, so we're not gonna rip both ears out. Just make sure that's all nice and dry, and then we are going to use wax for our brows again. Again, I'm a big fan of just a glue stick, but I don't have one right now, so this will do. And just pulling apart some cotton. We're going to use this for our brow. So just latex that up. Be careful for your eyelashes. Throw that on there. And you want a pretty good arch, and you want the front to be pretty deep down in, like he's frowning. And then seal that up. Just kind of smush it down. Again, you can kind of move this around once it gets a little wetter. And just smoothing out some of the bumps. And keep that sponge wet. Do not forget that. And I'm just kind of jumping all around the face this time. Again, I had no plan on doing this look until 5 minutes before I decided to film something. So we're just going to jump to the nose, and I'm just taking some cotton, and we're just going to widen the bridge of our nose. You kind of want to get it in like an elongated diamond, I guess. Just play around with that until you have your desired shape. We want to keep it kind of narrow where it meets our brow bone, just because it helps the frown look more authentic. We're also going to widen the nostrils. This guy has a pretty wide nose, and whereas mine is long, we have to alter it a little. And by a little, I mean a lot. So we're just going to seal that cotton up and push it against our nose. I think later on in the video, I still decide that it's not as wide as I want, and I end up adding more. So that's a good thing about this, is every time you do something, you can always add to it. You don't have to go big right off the bat. So just sealing that side up too. Just getting this excess off. My skin turns a little pink whenever I pull things off of it, so don't mind that. I'm not allergic to latex or anything. Otherwise, that would be very dangerous. So just making sure that we have a good coat on the nose. Again, sorry if the video lags a little or skips around. I did it just because it was so long. And then we're going to hit the tip. Going back and just rearranging everything the way we want it. Just kind of smoothing it out. And then we're going to pull some more cotton apart. And just want to match that up to the other side. Throw that on top of the latex. Just get that in place. Keeping my sponge wet with that latex so it doesn't pull it up. Getting them as symmetrical as possible. Grabbing some more cotton here. We are going to kind of make a ring. We're pulling this cotton ball apart the other side, and then we're just going to try to find the place where his mouth is, or his bottom jaw. And once you find a good area for that, just get that all nice and sticky with latex, and then we're just going to lay that down in a U shape. Throw some latex on there. It's an odd angle, so you are going to have to use your fingers. There's a lot of repetition with this look. You're just going to have to keep going over spots and building. And we're doing the same thing for the top of the mouth. Just making a U shape with that. And then you kind of want to see where his mouth would be so everything matches up. And then you're just going to stick that on there. And again, hit it with some latex. Now you don't want to go too crazy with the latex here. A little goes a long way, just because this is going to be kind of protruding out of our face. I didn't want it to get too heavy and then just flop down. That is also another reason that we couldn't make it come out further. I wish it was, but it just starts to get too heavy on your face and then starts pulling. He has a elongated chin, so we're just going to take a half a cotton ball and just put that on our chin just to extend that down a little more. I already have a pretty good jawline, so I didn't have to really mess with that at all. And just pet that down so it looks as natural and flush to your skin as possible. And while we were doing that, we were kind of letting the top and bottom of the mouth dry a little bit before we hit it with more latex. So here we're just going to be building that up by taking some more cotton and then putting it on top of what we already built. And this look does take a little patience, which I'm not usually good with, but it's doable because the end result I was pretty happy with. And we're just building up the top as well. Just forming as we go. And it looks a little silly to begin with, but it ends up working out. So don't get discouraged if it doesn't look like a mouth already. Just adding to the side of the mouth. And again, latex. And then throwing some cotton on the top, and we're going to build his face up here. But you just want to start with a pretty good base before we start forming that into a face, just so that the structure can support itself. And form as you go, squeezing and pinching. Sorry if the light is going in and out. I feel like that's just because it's like zooming or like focusing on one spot over another. Could have to do with the sequin background as well. Alright, so we are going to pre-latex these top pieces now because it is getting a little heavier. So rather than having to dab too much of the latex on after we put it up, we're just going to make sure that it sticks to us as soon as it goes on. So just add latex and then put it on. And we're going to hit it with more latex, but it's just an easier way to do it without you having to rough it up too much. Squeeze, squeeze. I ended up kicking over my bottle of latex, which kind of sucks because I only have one bottle, so we'll see how many more looks we can get out of that. And just adding to the front of the mouth. I think it's kind of like either the snout or the nose. I don't really know what he is. He looks like a serpent, but then in other pictures he looks like a creature. But building it up. Another look where you're gonna get latex all over you. And now we're just taking some toilet paper. One ply, guys, remember. And you're just gonna form that around just to kind of like smooth things out and just to make it a little more stable so it has that extra support. Be careful around your mouth, this stuff doesn't taste great. Just forming, if you have any excess toilet paper on the side, you can just fold it inward. Helps create the lip. We're just going to do the same thing to the other side. laying it down, going over the top, sealing that up, curling under. Just going over everything again, forming as I go so that nothing gets too constricted. I still want it to look like a mouth, not a beak. Just kind of smoothing everything down. And then we're going to take some toilet paper and we're going to work on that bottom jaw. Just going to fold this in half, kind of just go under it. Adhese that with a little bit of latex. And you kind of want the corners to just touch the top, just to create a foundation so that we can start building on the corners of our mouth. And just making sure everything's laid down. Squeezing as you go. Make sure this doesn't lay down too far on our jaw because we kind of want it to lift up. And this part gave me kind of a hard time, but it's not a big deal. Just let it dry a little bit, and then I went back and started squeezing it a little more. We're going to take a little bit more cotton. And extend that lip a little bit more. Just smoothing that. Getting it all nice and sealed up. Pinching is your best friend when it comes to this bottom lip, I swear. Then I'm just going over everything again. And we're just gonna work on other parts of the face while we're waiting for the latex on the mouth just to dry up a little bit more. And while it's still pretty tacky, but not super wet, we're just going to take another piece of toilet paper, just kind of connect the top jaw to the bottom, creating the corners of the mouth. And we do want this to be a pretty thin layer because we want to give the illusion of skin. So just be very fragile with this part. Making sure everything's layered down and covered in latex pretty well. That way it'll make it a sturdy thin layer. We are just gonna grab some more latex. And now we are just going to start on the other side. We're going to do exactly what we did on this side to the other. Just getting a good layer of latex down so that this will stick. And smoothing it down again with some more latex. Again, be very careful. We do want this to be a thin layer. So we have kind of this open hole, like crater looking thing. Then we're just going to start forming the face, just pushing and pinching. There's like a windstorm going on outside, so if you can hear that, I'm sorry. Now we're just going to take some cotton. We are going to kind of roll it so that we can make another wrinkle for our frown, or scowl, I guess. Stick that on with some latex. And then seal it up with some more latex. And then we want to push down the corners of the mouth just to give it a little more shape. I did pinch a hole into the side, but it's no big deal. We can just squeeze it until there's no more hole. Just play around with that. We're just gonna put a little nose on this face, but just by making a small little U shape with some cotton, pressing that on. And we're just going to make sure that this is sealed onto the face just for some more security. And then that way it looks a little more flush to our skin. And taking some more cotton, we are just going to roll some of this up in our hands again. Throwing some latex on it before, and this is going to make our one of the top fangs. So you kind of want to build it into a little spike. Just give it a little curve because I know his teeth are a little curved. And we're going to stick that on with some lovely latex. Make sure it protrudes a good bit. And working on the next top fang. We're just going to make sure that they're evenly sized and that the tip comes to a point, pretty sharp point. So we are just going to stick this other top fang on and then grab some toilet paper. We're going to fold this until there's just like, I don't know, 1/4 inch. And we're just going to stick this on top of the 2 fangs. This is going to act like gums, and it's going to give the illusion that the teeth are actually coming out of the gums instead of just hanging off the lip. Yeah, and it provides a little more stability for the teeth. And we're going to do the same thing for the bottom fangs that we did for the top. We just made them smaller. 2 of those for the bottom. Don't forget to make them a little curved. And then we're going to make 2 little teeth for the top. Beautiful. I was just adding a little piece to his nose because I wanted it to drop down a little further. And just a little more support for his chin because it was starting to sag a little, so we're just going to put that on there with some latex. Make sure you don't knock those teeth out. Alright, and I wanted to add a 3rd wrinkle right up at the top of his scowl, just because I felt like there was too much forehead there. Lots of texture is key. And then I wanted to widen up my nose, so I did add just a little more to each side, but I didn't add any to the tip. That's what she said. Just kidding. So making sure that's nice and smoothed out. Move on to the other side. And I do just have a narrow nose, so just kind of gauge it to your nose because you may have a skinnier nose than me or a wider nose, so just adjust to your face. And here I'm just rolling up some cotton in my hands. This is going to act as his tongue. We're not going to put it in just yet, but you want to make sure that it's a decent size and a decent shape, and just to make sure that that goes in there. But we are going to paint first so that the tongue doesn't get in the way and we don't break everything off. But right now I'm just going to add some more texture to my head. Applying toilet paper because we're conserving. Laying it down, going over it with latex. You know the deal. Just going over more of the front of the head. Again, I didn't do the whole head just because I'm not going anywhere after this. I'm just taking it all off. But I just wanted you guys to be able to see like the front. If you're going anywhere after this, like a party or a convention, you would definitely want to either do it yourself or have a friend kind of hit the back of your head. Just laying it all down. Sealing it all up. And I got my throat as well, just because I wanted more texture by where his kind of mouth meets my neck. Sealing that up so it lays down. And then I decided to add 2 more little teeth. He had 4 right in the front, so. Gives him more of a little dragon look, if that's what he is. I have no idea. All right, and now we're going to start painting. So be careful when you paint the inside of his mouth, not to knock out any teeth. It is hard to get the top of the mouth, and I don't think that I actually ended up getting that just because my teeth. But I guess you could probably paint the inside of his mouth before you put the teeth on. I don't know. And I didn't have any gray paint, but we've all been to elementary art class, I'm sure, so, you know, a little black and white. And we're just going to get all of the face just as our base first. It will look very flat, let me assure you. It will not look as boring when we're done. Just get all the little nooks and crannies, every little crack. And we're gonna kind of mute out our lips. He doesn't have like actual lips. So just cover those as if you would the rest of your skin. Hit our eyes. We are gonna add some shadow to those after. Just want to get the first layer on. Get that ear. I know that it sucks to get this stuff out of your ear, but it will definitely pull this look together if you incorporate that. All over the head, all over the toilet paper. I kind of look like the Rock from Fantastic Four. Get all your little lines. Get your neck. His little nose. Perfect. And I don't think that I actually taped when I did his lips, but I'm just gonna add some red and white to make a little pink lip and surround it. But we're gonna keep his teeth bare just because the color of the latex is basically like a tooth or bone color. So just pull that color all the way down. Yeah, so there's the lips. And then I'm just going to do his little nostrils. I guess those are his gums, not really his lips. I add a lip though. And do my nostrils. I'm going to extend those out just to make it look like an actual wider nose naturally. We're just going to put some lines up here like he's stretching out from the face. And then we're gonna kind of make these sunken holes where his eyes will go. We're gonna make him little red eyes out of cotton balls and stick those on. Get a little highlight on him. Here we come with the little eyes. Just rolling them in little balls and sticking those on with some latex. Make sure those are super red. And then the tongue as well. We're finally gonna connect it. And then just finishing the highlight. God, these planes are not stopping. I'm sorry if you hear them. I don't even live that close to an airport. All right, and then this is the lip that I just wanted to add just to kind of separate his lip from his gums. And then we are going to hit these eyes and the wrinkles and just create more shadow, creating more depth. You're going to do contour on this side. He does have one white eye, so I did put one contact in just near where the guy is coming out. But you'll see that in a minute. So yeah, just finishing up here. Awesome. Stick that contact in.
Canada. New glasses. And they're very dirty. Quarantine got me like, go, 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 go. Drunk. Giggity, giggity. Get it? This makeup is everywhere. Look at my ear. I slept in this last night because I could not get it off and I was so frustrated. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's stupid. Hi, quarantine. I don't know what that was. I have black makeup everywhere. Everywhere. How does it get here? It's like stained too. Like I can't get that off. Ooh. Oh, hi. My hands are white. Look, this is supposed to be the same color. It's not. Meow, 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 meow. Talent. Boom. Oh, hey. There's last week's costume. That was a bad voice. Bye.